Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a review of a manga series, and this time we're doing Vagabond. And right off the bat, I know it's something that a lot of people talk about. Just to get right into it, the artwork is phenomenal. I'm not gonna show images as much as I want to because I don't really have the editing software again. But it is phenomenal. Like the first panel, you can visually see it. It feels like you're actually reading an anime, right? The sunsets, you can actually kind of like he puts his head underwater at one point, and you see the bubbles right on his face. I mean, I think the way that shadow is used and lighting. The only other series I would say even gets close to this is Berserk, but I think this is the best drawn manga series of all time. And I've read a decent amount of manga, but this is the best. It's, by the way, the first volume that I'm going to be reviewing has 10 chapters. Pretty meaty stuff. Very different Tankibon too. I don't have it obviously, but it's taller and longer than a normal Tankibon is, like quite a bit actually, by like 3 or 4 inches. So that's just kind of interesting. So it takes a real life place. Just like for context too, I think the best way to describe this series it would be, if you've seen the anime Samurai Champloo, how it has real life events that play out with the samurai and kind of the group of these two guys. Very similar, but it's kind of like if Samurai Champloo met Berserk and then they had a love child. That's the best way to describe the series, because it's brutal as Berserk is, and it's beautifully drawn as it, but then it has kind of like the core dudes of Takeo and Marahashi, Marahachi, and I'm kind of confused because Marahachi, I mean, at one point he says, "Oh, I'm Takao," and then he's like, "Oh wait, no, I'm not." It's like, and he's like conflicted because he killed some people and all that, and that's confusing, right? That's crazy, right? But like I said, artwork, it's stunning. It was able to do sunsets. It's able to do, scenery beautifully. The facial expressions, you get a full experience, right? So, gotta say, 10 out of 10 there. Now the story is pretty good, considering it doesn't. It's a real life event to some degree with some fictional elements to it. There's like this gang of people that come in, and after they're saved because they just came back from like a war, right? I think Takao is one of the greatest samurai so far. He's awesome. He's a very brawly kind of, fighter where it's like, I'm literally just gonna beat you with a freaking stick if it means between me and your life. Like if it's two people that's gonna live, I'm gonna try to live. So I kind of like that, because it's very instinctual. I love characters like that, like Zoro and Kenpachi and Guts. Those characters are awesome because they don't care about, the logistics. Like he throws a rock at a dude and kills him. So the violence, it's necessary. It's not just like, oh, bro, we're killing all these people. There's no consequences. We're just killing them, right? I feel like some anime are just brutal and they're bloody for no reason. But this is different, right? This has violence for a very primal and very survival, instinctual kind of thing. And Takaho is kind of like an animal, in some ways, he's able to survive on his own. He has like a fire and all this. And I've only read one volume, so I don't know if Marahachi and Takano are the same person, but it's kind of crazy because it almost seems like he's dead, right? Marahashi. So I'm not really sure. I'm going to say that he's not just yet because we're only one volume in. But yeah, anyways, like I said, they go from there and then they end up going into like this, they have these two women that save him, and like even the way that like the way that she puts the lipstick on, it's drawn sideways, like it doesn't sound like it's that cool of a thing to draw or to show, but my god, if you're able to draw something that damn well, go for it, because I can't draw a character flat face like this worth shit, really. So yeah, awesome. That's pretty cool. But yeah, this and there's like this dynamic. They actually show the sex that goes on. This guy's a fiance, Mata Hachi, and he goes for it. He goes for it, right? And it's a very instinctual thing, right? He is a very conflicted person, right? He doesn't know if he should feel the need to kill people, if it's, he doesn't, is it survival anymore, or how should we feel about it? So I do kind of feel with him too, because when you're a soldier of war, you can't really question those decisions, right? So it's very interesting. And then we have then we kind of have like this gang of dudes. He's got one of those classic beards, and guys used to look like that, I feel like, in like the 2000s, and this is when it takes place, is the early 2000s. It was written in the early 2000s anyways, but it was back in like the 1500s. But anyways, they take down this gang. They don't even have their swords, bro. Takano doesn't even have a sword, and he's fucking dudes up, like I said. Throws a rock at this dude, crushes his skull, and then like puts the stick into the other guy's eye. I'm like, what is this? I was reading this at like a Christmas event last year. that this family I knew that I was invited to, and I was just like, I don't know if I should be reading this right now, but man, the conversation's dead, kind of thing. That's what's so great about Tankobon. You can just blot out conversations, and you can just be in your own world, which is kind of nice. But anyways, a side note, we go from there, right? And then we go into like this other crazy like village, right? And there's a lot of chapters and a lot of pages that are taken up, right? Where it's just like the creator of this also is the creator of Slam Dunk, but he takes the time to just show like a swing, right? And like you get this panel, like this like cut panel, and then you get like two other little panels showing like people's reaction, like and I think that's kind of cool, because we don't always need to have dialogue. We don't need to have all of this world building and all of this stuff right off the bat. We don't need that, So I think it's cool that a lot of these chapters read really quick. Yeah, it's kind of a good thing. I mean, if anything, your eyes are more like stuck to the page because you can't like get enough of the art style more than anything. And I mean, they don't show back on the violence. They don't show back on the sexual interactions, which is pretty interesting. A lot of nudity. If you don't know, there's going to be a lot of nudity. And then, like I said, we go into the village that they were like had the most connection with, and man, that granny, like, she had it out for Takano. Like, she was, he's probably always, like, considered a gutter punk. Like some guy that's just, like a leech kind of just sticking on to the great Manahachi. But Manahachi, man, he cheated on his fiance, so how great of a guy is this? Fiance I felt bad. Like, she didn't even recognize him anymore. Like, damn, dude. Like, that's straight up, right? So definitely a rough situation there. And then he's got to break the news. He's like, he's dead, right? That's kind of, I think he assumes that he's dead, right? We don't actually see it. Granny's like, no, he must be alive. And then literally tells the police, the main, like the other soldiers, that he's like, she tricks him into like actually having a bathtub, like, and actually warming up. And he's like, even he was like wary, and then out of nowhere, like, now he's got to fight all these dudes naked. And I'm like, damn, like this guy's been through it, man. Hasn't even been in like a volume. It's like, I feel like he's like guts, I feel like these two characters would be buds, because they're like, shit, we already are going through it, and we're only one volume in. I'm getting my butt kicked by all these dudes. It's a crazy scenario too, and he beats up all these guys, right? And I kind of, you kind of like understand these characters, right? You understand the old lady, where she's coming from, why she's doing this. You understand Takano, very instinctive, very easy person to understand. You understand Manahachi. You understand all these characters, and I think or the characters that do show up, the two women, and the dichotomy, and the fact that she was shivering because she was afraid of these gang of marauders that come in and have their way with the women, and I mean, they were picking off samurai too. So that's the other thing. It's kind of like the Attack on Titan, where everyone in the world is scummy, but they're scummy for a good reason, right? The good reason is that it creates a level playing field, and we actually see a very introspection on all these characters, right? And we get a really cool, like, kind of like, the moral characters get thrown out the window quick. So I love that because, living in a cruel world is, it is kind of more realistic than saying you live in Naruto where there's villains and then there's just like other people that are just, good guys. And that's just not how it is. It's, majority of people are in the gray. So definitely think it's a pretty great manga to read. It's kind of one of those manga where you have to kind of experience it. So if you haven't experienced it yet, because anime kind of always brings that out, right? If there's an anime behind a manga, it's going to be read. If there is no anime like this has, not going to be read. Some people have definitely suggested this to me for years, so I'm glad that somebody suggested this because it's a fantastic series, and I cannot wait to read some more of this. So I'll see you guys till next time, and I hope you enjoyed this review. A like, comment like last time would be great, and yeah, have a good one, everyone. Bye.